What's the problem with the flow according to Rashi? What is a little funny, if Rashi's correct, what's a little funny about the syntax of 18 and 19?
Well, he's moved on to the country. Right, he's talking about the people, and then he's like, and also the country, and also the cities.
Bid you, though your father out of the train, a kiss. Syntax is sink out of, slightly. Right? If the whole issue of fortified or not fortified is a way to discover if they're strong or weak, that should have been part of verse 18. Verse 18 is the climate, environment of the land. Does it raise weak or strong people, sickly people, healthy people, a lot of people, weak people, dying people? That's what we want to know about the overall makeup of the country. And how are you going to know what kind of people they are? Look at the cities, man. If they're fortified cities, then they're a bunch of weaklings and sickos, and that's bad. If they're not fortified cities, they're strong, tough guys. Right? So that all should have been in verse 18. Then go to verse 19. Well, what's the water supply of the land? And the last half of verse 19 is a sign how to understand verse 18. Syntax is out of order. But Rashi's trapped. He has no choice because he doesn't want to do a military mission. He wants to keep it all good or bad because that was the whole point. The mission was good or bad, what a disgusting thing to do. That's where they're going to mess it up. And that's what we're talking about. We're not talking military, which wouldn't have necessarily been a bad thing, but that's not what happened. So Rashi's trapped. He has no choice. There's no other way he can get out of that. Gewaltig. The Ohr Chaim, by the way, which we will not just mention outside, the Ohr Chaim is a cute shot. He has actually a fascinating deal. If you look at verse 19 carefully, right, it says, Uma ha'aretz asher hu yoshev ba hatovahi imra'ah. Not exactly what Art Scroll says, but and the land which they dwell in, is it good or is it bad? So according to Rashi, good or bad means with water. If that's the question, right, the land that they're living on, does it have water or not? What words are technically unnecessary in the opening phrase in the first half of 19?
Why do you need to know whether they dwell there?
Oh, exactly. Uma ha'aretz, and the land, hatovahi imra'ah, is it good or bad? What do you mean the land they live in? Well, duh, we're going to what? Is the land good or bad? Which land? The land you go to spy out, you dogs. What land do you think I'm talking about? Well, that's saying the land that they live in, does it have water? Yeah, well, obviously, I mean, I don't care about the land no one lives in, right? Land no one lives in, obviously no one lives in, right? I mean, what land do you think about we're asking for? Yeah, there's a lot of water. Of course, it's all around the middle of nowhere, you can't get to it. That's not what I meant. What do you think I meant? Right? So I just say, the land that you live in. Ask the Ohr Chaim. Right? Therefore, the Ohr Chaim rejects Bechlal Rashi's approach to verse 19, right? And says that verse 19 is all about the verse 18 is overall environment, you could say. So you could take like that, like Rashi said, or environment, does it raise strong people or weak people, healthy, that's the overall climate. Verse 19 is about what kind of buildings, what kind of cities are we going to find there? What stuff is like, are there shopping malls, are there banks, are there good roads, are there bridges, is it built up? Like, are we coming into a place that's like a shambles and we have to like build from scratch? Are we coming into a place that as soon as we just nuke everybody out, we take over and we got it all set up? We got buildings, got apartment buildings, we got the whole, everything's all built up and set up for us. It says, Uma ha'aretz asher hu yoshev ba. The land that they're living on, meaning the inhabited areas, not the farming land. First question was about overall general environment. And verse 20 is going to be the farming land. Is it fat or skinny? Verse 19 is the part they live in. The part of the land that everyone's living in. Hatovahi imra'ah. Is it built up well, or is it not built up well? Nicely subdivided, there's parks, there's roads, there's bridges, there's water things, there's sewers, is it the inhabited part? Right? I'll ask about the agricultural part in the next verse. Is it skinny or fat? But the Yoshev Ba, the city part, is it good or bad? Oh, it's a mess. The roads are upside down. The sewers are falling apart. The bridges are in disrepair. Right? Everything's crumbling. Nothing's been fixed up in 100 years. Highways are a mess. Oh wow, we're gonna have to really invest a lot here to put them back together. No, wow, it's all subdivided. It's all done well. And then the cities themselves. And he says, "Machanim Sarim" doesn't necessarily mean fortified or not fortified, but what kind of cities are we going to find? Built up cities or like sort of open plazas. They want to know what kind of, to get a sense of what kind of places you're going to find. So it's about the whole living area. And then 20 is about the agriculture.
Do we conclude this is all that Moshe told them, or these are the rough notes Moshe told them?
This is all we know that Moshe
The reason
told
I ask the question is that if we're spending this time trying to figure out what Moshe intended,
Right.
what was their situation?
Well, we assume that they understood from what he said what he meant. And if they didn't, they would ask him, could you just clarify exactly what you meant? Then maybe he clarified it again. This is all we're
So
told.
this was clear as mud to them.
Exactly. This is precisely, this is what we're told he meant, and we got to figure out what he was thinking. Because we don't know exactly all the information of the
But
story.
they did.
Well, let's put it this way. They certainly know what they certainly knew what they meant when they asked for spies, what their interest in the mission was, and therefore what their mission was. They certainly knew that, right? This is again, we are in retrospect trying to put together the story because the story was clearly written unclear, right? Which we have not yet discussed why God does that.
Did they know what they wanted when they asked?
And we discussed it a little bit, right?
Because they started out all being righteous, and when they left, they weren't so righteous. So did the mission change?
I don't know that the mission changed. I mean, we don't know exactly when they lost their righteousness. That's a good question, right? We were told, yes, kulam anashim. When they were appointed and sent, they were all fine. I don't think their mission changed. Instead, their travels in Eretz Yisrael turned them for some reason, for which there's many explanations which we'll have to get to. What went wrong and why. And no matter what they did wrong, we're going to have to ask, how did this happen to princes of Israel and leaders? How did they, whatever it was, whether they said lashon hara about the land, or they lost their faith and said, they're stronger than God, whatever it is, they're princes, and 12 leaders. I mean, that's, whatever it was, it shouldn't have happened, right? Shu and Kalev hung tight, so what happened to these 10 guys, right? We'll always have to worry about that. Okay? Well, so that's how the Ohr Chaim learns that pasuk. Verse 20. Huma aretz hashminah hayim razah. The land, is it fat or is it skinny? Right? Fertile. Everywhere. That's clearly what that question is. So again, 18 was, according to Rashi, overall environment. 19 was water supplies. 20 is, how fertile is it? According to the Ohr Chaim. 18 was, again, overall environment. 19 was the cities, the infrastructure, the roadways, the where it's inhabited. And 20 is the plantations and the farming, the agricultural part of the land. Right? Is there a tree in there or not? And be strong and take from the food of the land. So now think for 2 seconds, the famous problem with verse 20. What did Moshe ask them to check out? First thing he asked them to check out was what? What's the first question? Shmena o razah, right? Fat or skinny. Second question is? Is there a tree? Third thing he asked them to do is?
Strengthen yourself.
Take some fruit. Obvious problem is?
If there's no tree, how do they get fruit?
Bingo! Is there a tree or not? And what? And if there is a tree, bring fruit? That's not what he said. Is there a tree or not? And be strong and bring back fruit. So you could say, meaning, and if there is a tree, bring back fruit. That's not what it said. Besides which, how does the question, is there a tree or not, how does that strike you? That's not good, right? Are there a lot of trees? So you could say, is there a tree? Meaning, is there bees? Right? But that's not what it said. Right? Is there
It doesn't even ask if there's a fruit tree.
Right, it says there is a tree. But there's no trees.
It seems to be implying to them that he already knows what they're going to find.
Could be. So Rashi takes a straight midrashic approach. Okay? What Ohr Chaim will do it differently. Rashi on Pasuk Chaf, straight midrashic approach, takes it out of the literal thing, says it can't be taken literally. Pasuk Chaf, Hayesh ba'etz, Im yesh bahem adam kasher. Is there a righteous person living there, she'agin aleihem bizchuto, who will protect them through his merit?
Why is that in the agricultural one?
What?
We're talking agriculture before, we're talking agriculture afterwards, and we're talking about tzedek.
Right, absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Why is a very good question. Why Rashi was forced to do this, though, as you all said very well, footnote Lamed in the Sifsei Chachamim, for those in the All Hebrews, flip over to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4 lines from the bottom of the Sifsei Chachamim, right in the middle of the line. Footnote Lamed, as you all said very well. Because behold, it says right after this, his chazaktem become strong, ulokachtem mipri haaretz, and take for the food of the land. In Cain, therefore, yesh eitzim bahem, right? There must be trees in the land. So how can you say, is there a tree? If he tells them to take their food, he must have known there were trees, so therefore Rashi cannot take literally, is there a tree?
Doesn't
As you had asked, what?
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
It doesn't follow. That means there must be a tree for there to be fruit. Why do we have Pri Hadamah? Why do we have Pri Hagafen?
Oh, so you want to say me pre-haaretz could mean he meant take grapes, take grapes, or say this, which is not a tree, or take potatoes, or
Well, you
take...
still say Priya 8, so a grape,
Right.
it's not wine.
He's saying fruit, though.
Pre-haaretz, right? Pre-haaretz could technically mean,
watermelon.
potatoes, a watermelon. True,
No, probably not.
true.
Watermelon.
True, watermelon, yeah, watermelon, yeah. No, he's right. It's a very pre-hadamah. That's your point, right? Right? Yeah, okay. True.
It means that whatever
Okay.
it grows.
Yeah.
Right? So maybe that's why the Simcha offers another explanation. It could be. I hear your point.
So,
Okay.
in Mark Twain's Journey Across the Land in the late 19th century, he said that he didn't see a tree or bush the entire length of the journey.
Right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, but the Sifsei is claiming the reason Rashi doesn't want to take it literally is because if Moshe says take from the fruit, obviously there must have been trees. So your time is it could be when Moshe Rabbeinu said take me pre haaretz means watermelons or things which are not like trees. I don't know if they're trees, but they're good point. Maybe that's why he brings in Mizrahi, who gives a different explanation of why Rashi chose not to take it literally. Haresh Aleph Mem. That's Harav Eliyahu Mizrahi. Right. The Sifsei is really a collection of different explanations of Rashi. It's not always his own original stuff, right? So the first approach he brought was, if it says take from the fruits, there must be trees. But you could be right. Maybe that's why he offers another explanation. Hara'am Piresh from Eliyahu Mizrahi explained that why couldn't Rashi just take it literally? The Mistama probably im Shmeinahi yesh ba eitzim. If it's Shmeina, if it's a fat land, it would have trees. Very kvar amar lahem, and he already asked him, Hashmeinahi im razah, is it fat or is it skinny? Okay. And that's why Rashi didn't want to take it literally, because the first question was, is it fat or skinny? So if he already asked if it's fat or skinny, why would he ask, is there a tree or not? Fat or skinny would include trees, and that's why Rashi said the word tree here cannot be literally tree. Right? That's another reason why Rashi maybe didn't take it literally. For any of those reasons, Rashi does not want to take it literally, and therefore he says the word eitz means a righteous person. Obviously, the problem, of course, as you all said very well, is, okay, the points are well taken, a little hard to take it literally, whether because of the fruit issue or just because of the fat issue, right? Right? It does seem it's a funny question. Is it fat? Is it skinny? Is there a tree? Sounds a little funny. So Rashi says, you're right, side issue. But it's like out of left field, man, just out of nowhere. The whole Rashi has gone out of his way to make sure that every question here is a good, bad question. And also Moshe throws in, is there anybody there who's going to protect them with their merits? What does that have to do with anything? Right? Very strange. But Rashi scratches on what else to do with it. Sforno the Archaim learn it differently. As soon as I find it, I'll tell you where it is. Next page, and it's only found in the All Hebrew. 157, on the very bottom of the page, this Sforno, left-hand column. He just does the whole puzzle differently and gets out of the problem. Okay? You know what? That is fascinating because I never looked at I was just quickly glancing at the Sforno before. Who here said about the fortified cities that the issue is, are they afraid of other people, that they live securely? Somebody here said that. Boy, you're on a roll tonight. You're a good night, man. Sforno, I see, says the exact same thing. We'll just jump in your honor, since you seem to be on a roll. If you look at the Sforno on the bottom of the page, okay, Pasuk Yud Tes, 3 lines before the bottom of the right-hand column, right? Hatovahi b'mayim rabim metovim, similar to what Rashi said, good or bad is water. Kamro Hashem Elokechem v'yachal eretz tova, right? God is bringing to a good land, eretz nachalei mayim. So the verse itself seems to equate tova with water. And then habamachanim, are the unfortified or fortified cities, in heim yoshvim beprazot. Are they sitting in array prazot, unfortified cities, lebetach, very secure, beli shum yirat milchama, without any fear of war? In b'mivtzarim, are they in fortified? In yoshvim bi'arei ha'mivtzar, are they sitting in fortified cities, mipnei yirat milchama, because of the fear of war? Kenyan chadlu prazot b'Yisrael chadelu, that's by Sisera, when all joy has ceased because we're under attack from Sisera, right? Stop your singing because we're under attack from the Nevi'im over there. Very good, that's the Sforno set. Okay, now look how he does Chav. Hashmenahi, is it fat? So we've been learning Shmenah fat, like agriculturally fat, which was one of the reasons it says, said that's why Rashi can't say tree means tree, because you already asked is it fat or skinny. Says the Sforno, no. Hashmenahi ba'osher unechasim, wealth, stuff, right? Gold, silver, diamonds, stuff. Right? Eretz Yisrael is a place where you will not eat bread out of poverty. Is it a rich land? Gold, silver, diamonds, copper, gems, pearls, rubies, right? That's Shmenai, or rather fat or skinny. Now, Hayesh Ba'etz are about trees. Gefen, Teirah, Rimon, Zechemet, Dvash, right? The date trees and pomegranates and olives that Eretz Yisrael is praised for. That's about Hayesh Ba'etz, not one tree, 8 tree, like fish, like sheep and sheeps, right? 8, right? Which is fair. And that's how he learns it, so therefore he gets out of the problem. Okay? And then what does it mean? It becomes strong and take from the fruit of the land. Lachzik, but to grab it. Don't worry that they're going to look at you like spies because you're stealing the fruit. Don't be afraid. Be strong and bring back the fruit. But that's how he learns it. Okay? So. And the Ohr Chaim does a very similar idea on the word AIDS. He says just right on top of the Sforno, Hayesh Ba'etz, Perushem Hamim. That's the species, tree. The Mishpah called min eitz, so they have the species of tree, imayin, if not. Okay? And therefore you don't have to worry about eitzim, right? That's what it means. Solves the problem, you don't need to go to Rashi's way, and that way it sticks with good or bad land, funny enough. And if you would have done the Sforno's way, that Shmenah and Razah means fat and skinny with, minerals and gold and diamonds, then tree could be tree as, like sheep tree, isn't it? Tree features of trees, and therefore he wouldn't have had to go to the Medrash. But for whatever reason, Rashi chose not to do that. Gewaltig.